We're back to playing Eviternity, and so far I really like the megawad. Chapter 1 had a medieval aesthetic, and Chapter 2 changed everything up as it has a very tech-based look now. I think Chapter 1 is still a better set of levels than Chapter 2, but that doesn't mean that I hate Eviternity or anything. I like how each chapter has a distinct visual style, and that helps break up the megawad. Without further ado, Map 6 introduces the tech-based look, and it infuses the technology with more natural elements. There are still sections with water and mountain terrain, and I think this level does a good job of getting the player's feet wet. Map 6 doesn't hold your hand, but it also doesn't throw everything at the player to make things difficult. There are more nightmare demons to kill, which is fun, but overall, I find Map 6 to be good, but underwhelming. Map 7 steps up the quality and provides some more decent set pieces for the player. There's a good section with the group of hit scanners coming out of the woodwork, and it's fun to put them all down. One issue I do have with Chapter 2 is the confusing nature of the coloured doors, at least when I first started this chapter. There are certain doors with a yellow outline that you need to hit a switch to activate, but then you encounter doors that are coloured completely yellow that you need a key for. You will get used to this, but I just wish that the switch activated doors were more distinct than the typical key coloured doors. Pointless nitpicking aside, Chapter 2 is pretty solid so far, but nothing blows me out of the water just yet. Map 7 is still very good though and improves on the previous level, but that's about it. Map 8 is more focused on puzzle solving and little platforming sections than memorable combat encounters. I enjoy the parts where you have to run up and across each platform to get where you need to go, and how monsters will come in to ambush the player when they reach certain spots. However, again, Map 8 doesn't stick with me as much as Chapter 1's levels, and I feel like that has a lot to do with the tech-based style. I mean, I think they did as much as they could to make the technology theme different in each map, but almost none of these levels left a strong, lasting impression. Contrast this to the first time I played Eviternity Map 4, and how I will never forget the first time I played through the map, and that's because of how different it was from the previous levels in the megawad. With Chapter 2 though, this diversity doesn't really exist in my opinion, but at least Map 8 has some more toxic waste sections that attempt to switch things up. Map 9 has some great looking areas, like the rocky underground cave systems infused with the tech-based style, but the level deviates for way too long. This map isn't that big in size, but it'll still take you a good amount of time to get each of the keys for no good reason. I understand that people like these type of levels, but I just didn't get much out of Map 9. I will say that a new demon pops up in this level, and he is known as the Astral Cacodemon. Similar to the Nightmare Pinky, the Astral Cacodemon is a stronger and more ferocious version of the regular Cacodemon, and he's a cool addition. He's grey, he releases out a spread of fireballs unlike the normal Cacodemon, and he looks cool even though he is just a colour swap. That being said, Map 10 is a pretty damn enjoyable ending level, and the goal is fairly straightforward. All you need to do is flick on the power for this huge device, and then a ton of demons will spawn in. One of those demons include the new Baron, called the Annihilator, which is a great name by the way. He almost acts like a mini version of the Cyber Demon, as he shoots rockets out of his arm cannon, and he also uses a unique chain gun attack. All of these demons in Eviternity are solid, but they don't change too much about the game, but I guess that's kind of a point. Don't fix what isn't broken about Doom, I guess. With that said, Map 10 is again straightforward, to the point, and that's what I like about it. You just flick a bunch of switches, and then you have a final confrontation at the end with a bunch of bad guys. It's a solid way to close out the episode, and it's just a fun brawl with the demons. Map 10 also strikes a good balance of having a natural look to the level like in Chapter 1, while also featuring some futuristic tech stuff like Chapter 2. Speaking of which, Eviternity Chapter 2 is not bad by any stretch. I mean, all of the levels are quality, but they lack distinct combat encounters. Apart from a few combat zones, I don't remember most of the battles with the monsters, and they all seem more incidental than anything. I did have this issue with Chapter 1, and I hope it would have been fixed with the later episodes. episodes, but even with the first chapter, there were more solid combat encounters. I can remember sections like the throne room ambush that completely overshadowed the combat encounters in chapter 2, but I am still holding out hope that chapter 3 has more memorable moments. That being said, I do like how Eviternity so far has had very distinct looks to each of the chapters, but in chapter 2 specifically, there wasn't too much to keep my interest. There were tech bases, and then tech bases with a bit of natural elements, but that's about it. However, I do think chapter 3 and beyond will do a better job at this, I hope. What do you think about Eviternity Chapter 2, and by all accounts, I could be totally in the minority and this chapter could be worshipped among Doom fans. I'll be definitely told about this in the comment section down below, and I'm looking forward to the incoming discussion. Please tell me what you think about Eviternity Chapter 2, as I would love to hear what you guys have to say, and I thank you for watching.